Okay, good evening, guys. I don't want us to wait any longer. I think we can do something. I've actually started recording this particular lecture. So anyone who misses it will have the opportunity to watch it. Right. I'm hoping that in the next maybe, let's say 30 to 40 minutes, maybe we'll be done for this lecture. So quickly, I will want to inquire. The videos that I gave, the practical videos, may I know those that have been able to do it? The installation of the virtual machine, the installation of XP on the virtual machine, and the connection for each of them. Has any of you been able to do it? Anyone? Hello, are we here? Am I being heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are here.
We can hear you.
Then talk to me. What is happening? Have you tried it? Who has tried it? If you tried it and you had challenges, you can ask. I would guide you. In fact, it's one of the things that I really would want you to do. You know, most times when you get to any institution or organization, if there is supposed to be a local area network of which each of those nodes will get connected, you have to at least be able to do that. So for instance, maybe if any of you get the chance to own maybe a cafe, those times we used to have an internet cafe, or you're given a chance to network a small office. These are the processes that you go through. You get your switch, you get your cables ready, you get the workstations or the computers or nodes ready, how you connect to them. All those are very important. Connecting it to the switch alone for each of the computers would not be enough. You need to find a way to manage the devices that are on the network. And one way to do that is the installation of the PF Sense that I showed you in the video. So it's more like a software that manages the devices on the network. So in that case, you can give every individual who is going to use any of the workstations a login account or access to the network. So the entire internet will be on the PF Sense, which is serving as a firewall and also the gateway, and sometimes also the router. So your router can be connected to the PF Sense. Then the other part of the PF Sense network card will be connected to the switch, of which all the other computers will be connected to the switch too. So it's very important. There are lots of these open source software that you can use to manage your network. PF Sense is one of them. I really would want you guys to do it. You can put yourself in groups of 2 or 3, set it up, set the PF Sense up, get either XP or Windows 7. Usually I want you to use XP because the functions of XP is just about Windows 7 and Windows 8 or 10 or 11. But depend on the resource of your computer, which is
Hello,
7.
please,
Yes? Ekwamba?
please, your
Yes.
voice is a little bit down.
Okay, just a
So
minute.
if you can provide it for us tomorrow.
Is it better? Hello? Is the voice?
Hi, sir.
It's better, sir. Thank you.
All right.
It's better. Thank you.
Okay. So please,
It's better. It's better.
guys, try and put yourself in maybe 1 or 2, 3 in a group and set up one. Maybe in 2 weeks' time, you will just present to me what you have done. Next week, we'll not do that. So please put yourself in a group of 3. That particular video that teaches you how to install the PF Sense and get the devices connected on the network, please do that. In 2 weeks' time, you will do a presentation for me to see. I'm sure possibly I might be able to meet you in person. Right, so let's delve straight into today's. Today, I intend running you through how networking or network cabling is done. Because you are doing computer networks, it is very important to know how to terminate network cables. By now, I'm sure you already have knowledge of different cables that do exist. We have the Cat5, Cat6, Cat5e, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable. These are things that we've talked about and you have knowledge of them. So quickly, today I want us to go through the practical session of terminating a cable. So on your screen, you can see we have network cabling. So making connection with Cat5. It could also be Cat6. So most of the network cables that we have, I think now we have the Cat6e. If you have Cat5, they are just about the same thing. It's just that each of them have their own throughputs, the maximum data throughput that can go in there. Cat5, most of the time, is okay. Cat6 is also good. Now, let me talk about the key points for today. So this is what we're going to do. We would talk about the cable types that are available and how do cables work? How do they work? How are the cables used in networking and how are the connection made? So we'll be able to terminate a cable today. So the learning objectives will list the common cable types that exist that we normally use for networking. We'll describe the UTP, that is on-shoulder twisted pair cable, what they are made of, and how they are used in Ethernet connection. And I will demonstrate to you the ability to make a working patched cable, that is a terminated cable. So we'll name the 2 wiring standards that do exist, that we normally use for the wired Ethernet network and their users. So quickly, I'm going to delve into it. These are the common cables that exist. We have the coaxial cable. That is the one that we normally use for our TV, multi-TV and DSTV. This is how the coaxial cable looks like. It's normally used for networking. So most times from your satellite dish, you connect this to your LMB, that is for the satellite dish, then you route it back again to the decoder, just to get network signals from the satellite dish to your decoder to possibly watch multi-TV or DSTV. This is the unshielded twisted pair cable. This is it. This is what we normally use in our networking for the local area network that we have in our rooms. Of course, each of these have their maximum, the maximum length that they can also go in terms of signal transmission. I remember I spoke about the twisted pair, that most times if you go beyond 100 meters, a term called attenuation sets in. So that is the loss of signal. So you need to find a way to boost the signal. And one way to do that is to introduce maybe a switch or a hub to boost the signal from point A to point B. This is fiber optic cable, and that is how it looks like. So our concentration for today is this one. That is a twisted pair, on-shoulder twisted pair cable. This one is very easy. I think most of you have seen it being done when you are installing multi-TV. But this, most of the time, the local area network that we normally find, we set up for our offices is this that we normally use. So the termination of this It's quite easy. The fiber termination is a little complex. You need a device to do that, and that device is a little quite expensive. Now, as network, whether cybersecurity, data science, analytic, or computer science, it is very important that you know networking. It's so key. So our advice, at least all of you should think through and get yourself a networking toolkit. And most of the time, the toolkits would be the crimping tool, the cable tester, and so on. I'll talk about it, I think, as we move along. All right, so for the unshielded twisted pair, these are the characteristics. These are the things that goes on in there. Twisted pair of insulated conductors covered by insulated sheet. So if you look at it, this is the outer layer of the cable. That's the sheet. If you look at it, this is it. So the blue parts that you see, that is the outer part of it. And in there we have 4 different wires twisted. But the respective wires are 8 in all. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we come here, if we just explain or show you, this is the sheet itself, and inside it we have the individual pairs. So for instance, this is one pair. You can see orange and orange whites. It's one pair. If we come back again into this one, you see orange and orange pair is also here. Then the green and the green whites is the same thing that you see here. Green and the green white. So the middle is the metal itself, the conductor. And of course, we have that for the brown and we have that for the blue. So for the twisted pair, or I'll show the twisted pair, whichever it is, there are 8 cables in all, which is made up of 4 pairs. And the colors that we have in there is orange, brown, blue, and green. Now, I'm going to display that here. Let me put on my video. I'll try to, yeah. So this is how I hope I can be seen. Just a minute. All right, so this is the cable. I have this is the network cable that I have in here. And this is one end of the cable. So at the end, if you take a critical look, these are the things that we have in there. So the colors are the ones that you can see over there. So every student who is into networking should at least have this knowledge that inside the twisted pair cable, there are 4 pairs of colored cables. And each of these pair is made up of a twist of the color and its white. So if we come back again to the slide, so we have the blue and so on. Now, since we're going to go through how we can terminate this cable, we need a tool that we call a crimping tool, not clamping, but crimping. And this is how the crimping tool looks like. I would advise that all of you should get some money and, try and purchase a network toolkit. I don't think it's so expensive. It's possibly might be between 100 and 200 cedis, or it might even be less. So this is a crimping tool. This tool, for instance, make it so easier once you have this tool and you have your tester, it should suffice. It should be enough for you to set up an entire network in a small office. Apart from this tool, maybe when you buy the network toolkits, there is another one we call the punch down tool. Unfortunately, I don't have one here in my office. The punch down, as the name says, so punch down is just something straight like this. Then the ends is made up of about 8 pins for that you use to punch down. So you put it down and you punch it down. And most of the time, the ones that we have in on the wall or the wall jack is the punch down tool that we use to terminate those. I don't have one in there, but let me see if I can even show you one online. Let me see. All right, so this is how the punch down tool looks like. Let me get the images. So this is how it looks like, this one. So these are all examples of punch downs too. So with this one, okay, we have just one end here. So you know there are 8 cables in here. So you use the punch down to hit on each of the wires when you are done terminating it. And if you let me scroll down, this is how it looks like. You can see from here the end. Let me get it right. So this is it. This is how it looks like, the punch down tool. So this end you will use it to pin the wire down when you are working on the ones that will be mounted on the wall jack. So you push this one and you use your thumb to press this to fit the cable. This is how it looks like. So you can see he's using his thumb to punch down this cable. These are the ones that go into the wall jack. So on the wall, you see some of these things in there, and this is the tool that we use to terminate it. Let me see. And those that use the patch panel, this is also the punch down tool that we still use to do the termination. So from here, you can see the cables have been aligned in the right order over here. Right, let's go back again to what we were talking about earlier. Right. Okay. So now you've seen the cables in there. So we move down a little down, then we go to these are the UTP or shoulder twisted pair cables. For the category 3, you can see these have been highlighted grayed out. It's because we are not really using them but those times category 3, that is cat 3, cat 5. So we mean category. So category 3, the throughput was 10 Mbps, megabits per second. Category 5 is 1,000 megabits per second. What is the gigabits? Category 6 is about 2,500 Mbps. Now for category 5E, we have the 1,000, and recall that I'm saying that after 100 meters, attenuation sets in, so the signal gets run out. So you need to find a way to repeat it or boost it. So most times it's advisable to possibly at the 90th meters, you would put in such routers to boost the signal. All right, so this is the network cable. Now we have something we call RJ45. And this is how the RJ45 looks like. RJ45. So this is what we use to terminate the cables. Inside the RJ45, you will realize that it has about 8 different pins in there, metal pins. There are 8 of them because the cable itself also has 8 metals in there. So there are 8 pins in there. So these pins, when we terminate the cable with the crimping tool, the pins presses on that cable, and gets connected to the cable inside, the metal cable inside this. So we're going to do that. Over here is where you pass the cable through inside the RJ45. So inside here, that is where you pass the cable through. Now moving on to this, this explains the diagram you see is exactly what we have over here. It's the same device. So we call this RJ45. And this is how it looks like. These are the metals in there that I talked about. When the crimping is done, these metals are pressed down and it hits the cables that are inside through this hole to get access to the metals that are inside the cable. Inside this cable, there are metals in there. So these metals gets hit in there. So I've spoken about the crimping tool. The good thing about the crimping tool is most times, virtually all the crimping tools that you'll be seeing, it has a whole lot of things that you can do with it. In here, you can see we have the RJ45 section. So here it means we can push in the RJ45 here. Here is for RJ11, that is for the telephone lines. Most times, I think for now, we've not been using it. So when we are terminating, we will use the RJ45 section. So this is where we put it and we'll punch it down. And we need a cable to do the connection. We need a Cat5 or Cat6 cable. Then you need the RJ45 connector, which I've shown you this. Then you need a cable stripper. The cable stripper, luckily, this crimping tool is also able to strip the cable. But of course, we'll have independent cable strippers too, which you can also buy. But most times, the RJ45 is able to do that. It has a section over here at the back. You can see over here at the back. When we start doing it, you will appreciate it better. That you can use to cut your cables. But ideally, this is how the cable stripper looks like. This is how it looks like. So you can see the cable has been inserted in here. You just press this to lift this and you put the cable in there. And you roll it round and it will strip the cable and show those cables inside the cable, the network cable itself. This is also an example of a cable cutter or stripper. You can also use this. But luckily, as I'm saying, the crimping tool that you would purchase has access to do all of that. So you don't need to get those cable strippers. And again, if you get the network toolkits, in fact, I will advise all of you to get it. When you go for your attachments, I don't know if any of you have been doing attachments. Attachment is very important. You learn that. You should know how to terminate cables. So when you are going around, you would at least be able to terminate certain cables when the network engineer gives you the chance to. It's very important. So try and get your own, as computer science, cyber, or maybe data science and analytic. Try to understand networking in this regard, and also, get some knowledge and purchase your own cable. It's very important. So we have the scissors. Of course, sometimes you have a cable around inside here. When I start the termination, you see that there's a cable in there. You can use the scissors to cut it, but it's so important. This also does the same work for us. The crimping tool is capable of doing all those for us. So that is the crimping tool. So how do we do that? So first of all, we need to strip the cable ends. So in stripping the cable ends, so there's a cable. Sometimes maybe the cable might be rough. So in stripping that from here, you can see there is a metal blade over here. So when I press it down, for instance, you can see it's capable of cutting. So for instance, if I want to cut this cable, all I have to do is to take it to that end, to this end, and cut it. Now I'll be able to cut the cable. So now I have the cable cut. So that is it. So in a situation where the cable is messed up and you want to start a fresh termination, you can cut the first end. Then the next thing is to untwist the wire end. So first of all, we would need to use the cable stripper to remove this, to display the cables in here, inside. Luckily, the RJ45 has that. So if you look at it very carefully, you can see there's a hole here, and this hole is capable of, it's round, but in there there is a blade that makes it possible to strip the cable. So I can put in this cable in here at that side. You can see it is here. There's a round side. I'll just put the cable in there. Then, of course, I will start. You can leave some space in there. So I'll put it in there. Then once it's enough, it's in the round hole, as you can see here. I can now press down small. It is not going to cut, but it's going to remove the sleeve. And I'll just turn it round, still holding the side in place. And I have the chance now to do it properly so we can. So I just go around and it's able to strip the cable for me. So you can see it has been able to do that for me. So all I need is to bring it out, pull it out, and it's been able to release those 4 pair cables for me. Now this is Cat 6. Cat 5 can also look like this. So in there you can see we have the cables. So I can bring them all out this way. Then here, this helps in arrangements. So with the scissors that we talked about, I can use the scissors to cut this. I don't need this one. So I will roll it down. Luckily, the crimping tool also has the ability to do that. So I look for the place that has the cut, the scissors portion, push this to that side and just press on it to cut it. So I have it cut. So I don't need this. We only need to expose these cables. So at this point, if there is a question you can ask before I continue. Maybe I can pause the video. Is there a question? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me pin this one. It's unfortunate. I've not paused the video before. Sharing, let me see. Okay, let me go in again. All right, so let me just go over again. So that's it. So we have the cable. So the next thing we have to do is to find a way to untwist each of these cables. So this is the orange. So I'll unwind it. For the orange, I'll do the same for the blue. The same for the green. Now in fact, all the colors you see, you can see this is orange, and we have a strip of orange and white. This is green, and we have a strip of orange and green and white. This is blue, and we have a strip, and they are all twisted together. And the last one is brown, and we have the brown and brown strip. So that's it. So once we're able to do this, we find a way we can use our hands to just straighten the cable. It's funny. It's been over 10 years since I did something like this. Yeah. So you strip it this way. You try to straighten it. Each one of them together with, remember those times we used to use a pen to help us straighten it. So you can use a pen, then you straighten the cable with its pair. All right. So I've been able to do that. Now let me share my screen again and show you something. Okay. Do you see me in full screen or small screen? Which is which?
Full screen, sir.
Full screen. My face.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
great. That is what I'm looking for, so that the share screen will be smaller. All right. So from here, we said untwist the wire ends, which we have done. We've untwisted all of them. We now have to arrange the wires. Now, there are different ways of arranging the wires. We have the A and the B. Let me get the actual, just a minute. We have the T56A and the T568B. These are two ways to arrange the cables. In fact, most in Ghana and virtually most of the networking environments, the B arrangement is what we normally use. The T568B arrangement is what's normally used for our network connection. So that is what I'm going to do with you. We've been able to go through the stripping of the cable. We've been able to avoid cutting the insulator inside the cable in here. We've been able to untwist the wire ends. So we have the straight ends right now. Now, the next thing is to arrange the wires. And I said we have the 568, the T568A, and T568B. Now, the B is what we have not been always using. In fact, if you go to virtually all the institutions in Ghana, or virtually most of the networking aspect, is the B that is being used. So I'm going to show you that. So from here, it says that the arrangement of the cable will start with orange, white. So if you look at the strip, we have orange. So I'm going to arrange it. I'll start with orange, white. This is orange, white. I don't know. Yes. It's orange, white. Then orange, white, orange. Green, white, blue. So is this green? No, this is green, white. Green, white. We have to arrange it properly. Green, white, blue. So I'll look for blue. Brown, white, green. Sorry. So this is it. Orange, white, orange. Green, white, blue. Blue, white, green. So I'll go for, let me start all over again with the numbers we have. In fact, you have to have this in mind. So orange, white, that is the orange strip. Orange, white, orange. So this is orange, white, and this is orange. That's the first. We have the two aligned properly. Then it says green, white, blue. That is this. Green, white, blue. So this is green, white. Then I'll look for blue. So blue is number 4 in the arrangement. Then blue, white, green. So this is blue, white, and green. You have to make sure you press it down so that you don't miss the colors. So I'm still holding it properly. Then the next one is brown, white, brown. So this is brown, white. This is brown, white. And the next one is brown. So I have all these 8 cables arranged in the T586B order. So orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, green, brown, white, brown. So that is the order. This order is very important. Now, let me see if I can find any terminator cable. I have here an already existing terminator cable. Unfortunately, I don't have this sleeve. I don't have one in the office, but usually before we even cut the cable, we can put the sleeve inside the cable. We'll cut it, and when we finish terminating, then we can push the sleeve up for it. But for the purposes of this, I don't have the sleeve in here. When I spoke to the IT guys, they couldn't get me one. So that is it. Please, the color combination, are we okay with it? Can I move on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So now the next thing that we have to do is we move on to the next one, which is to trim the cable. And usually when you do it over time, you realize that, in fact, this arrangement, you don't have to miss it. So you keep watching it and making sure that the cables are arranged properly. So now you can see this is too long. If you look at the RJ45, it's short. And if I try pushing it inside, it will not work. So we hold it down and we'll cut portion of the cable. Still holding this down. I'll bring my crimping tool, look for the place that has the scissors part, push it inside that side and cut, and now cut this. So I've been able to cut it, and this is what I have. So if you look at it critically, in fact, at this point is very crucial. You don't have to, you take your time so that you don't get it twisted. And once you are done, once we've been able to cut it, holding it firmly, we'll look at the RJ45. There is a hole in there. And if it comes, you look at the bottom, you can see there is the pins as I talked about. So from the back, with this face down, with the RJ45 face down, and the hole in here, we will now try and push the cable into the hole. We have to push it until it gets to we push it until it gets to the ends. We should be seeing the cable is in there now. We push it until it gets to the end. If you look at it, it's over here. You keep pushing it. Because I cut it properly, you can see part of the black side inside it. So this is it. When you do this, then you go back again and try to see if your color code is correct. So I'm going to look at it. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. It's perfect. I've been able to go into all the holes in there. So I'll keep pushing it down. Now, when this is done, we are not done. It can remove at any point in time. So this is where we bring the crimping tool again and look for the portion that has the RJ45. So at this point, you can see there are two of them. We have the RJ45 and we have the RJ11. The bigger one is the RJ45. So I would hold the cable. Then you can see there is a hole at the bottom here. So I'll align this properly so that the hole goes into it this way. I push it. So it's at the end here. It's inside it. Then I now press it down to crimp it. I'll press it down harder. So it presses the metal inside the RJ45, and that metal now touches the metal, cuts open. That metal cuts into each of the strip. So after this, I'll just remove it. And our cable is now ready. If I try to pull it, it will not move. So our cable is ready. So this is how the termination of the cable looks like. This is how it looks like. So if I try to pull it, it wouldn't work. Now, if you look at it critically, you might see that, let me see if I can. You might see that the metal over there is pressing on the cable. So it will eat into the insulator of that cable and touch the metal inside that cable. In the same way, if you look at over this one too as well, the metal in there, because I pressed it, has that be able to do the same thing. If you're not so sure, you can always go back again, put it inside, crimp it, press it down to keep locking it up. So that is how to terminate a cable. So this is the B aspect that we normally use, as I said, and the color combination for the B is what I just gave you. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. We don't use this one. This is what we have been using. So if you are using a patch panel, I think I showed you the other one, when you have to use the punch down tool, it's just the same thing. You will see A and B. So you select, let me see if I can get wall jack. Great. I think this is perfect. Right. So the ones on our wall, inside it, this is what we have. You can see we have excuse me. We have T568A and B. So when we are terminating, it is the B that we normally use. So that's what we've been using. And so if you are going for the A, for the B, in fact, the color code is there for the punch down. And this is it over here. you will see the color code. You can see they have arranged it. It's been arranged properly over here. So the colors, they'll put it in here. Once this is in there, they use the pawns down to press it down in the same way as this one. So the pawns down is just pressing it, and it's moment it pressed down, it cuts these ones. So basically that is how it looks like. And on the wall, this is the part that you will normally see. So you go and you will insert this cable inside it in the wall. So that is the RJ45. So basically, this is what we normally use for the termination of the cable. When we go down again, that is the cutting. We've been able to terminate it down. Now, the next thing is to check if what we have done is correct. So just like in any way, the cable is supposed to have one end and another end. So this is the other end. So I would have to also terminate the same thing using the same T568B color coding to terminate this end. And once that is ready, then I can now move on, crimp it, just like how the crimping is done. So before the crimping, when I push the cable inside, this metal that I talked about had not locked on the cables. And this side, which is this side had not locked on the cable. So this side is also pressed down on this to prevent the cable from removing. So that is it. When we use a crimping tool, it pushes this one down, presses on the black, in our case, this black inside it. Then the crimping tool also presses on this to lock out this. So you can see this is the after crimping. It locks this up and the metals are also locked up. Once you are done, then you have to test your cable to see if it is correct. So this is the cable tester. I'm saying network tools, get one for yourself. And so you put one end inside and the other inside. Then you press a button to test it. If the lights all shows, it will tell you connection, correct connection. If there is an error in it, it will also tell you that you know which one to use or where to correct it. So basically, that is how we are able to terminate cables using RJ45 and the crimping tools. So that is it. Do we have any question? Any question? All right. Seems we don't have questions. So now the next thing I want you to do is let us now go and work. I want you to get a network cable, measure 2 yards. 2 yards. A yard is about from your hand to somewhere here. The cable should be about 2 yards. Terminate the cable using the T568B color combination. 2 of such cables. All of you, each one of you should do that. By next week, make it available. Get it to your class reps. The next 2 weeks, if I come around, I would take those cables. Try and do it yourself. There's one thing I also would want you to tell you. Try and do these cable termination yourself. This is very important. Else, if you go in for...
Hello, sir.
Yes, Albert?
Yes, please, your face is not showing, you know.
Oh, you want to see my face again?
Hey.
Okay, let me see. Is it okay now? Hello, Albert?
Sir, still, your screen is black.
My screen is black.
Yes, or maybe it's from my side.
Guys,
Is it-
can anyone confirm? Can anyone see me?
Yes, from his side.
All right, so what I want you to do is measure a cable of about 2 yards, then terminate the ends. You get RJ45. You terminate the first end and terminate the second end. Get 2 cables of the same size. You can get to your ICT departments or units, let them get you RJ45. It's not expensive. I think this one of the RJ45 should be maybe 20 pesos or something. So the class can, get it and buy a small cable or go and look for that. So get one, terminate 2 of such cables of length 2 yards each. So it means you need 4 RJ45, 2 cables for the 2 cables termination. And try and also get a crimping tool. I'm not going to inspect the crimping tool, but I'll advise you get one yourself. Now, that is one thing. So the B section, there are reasons why we use the B. I'm going to show you another thing here. Just a minute. Okay. So everything that I've talked about, if you look on your screen, I have all those again here in the different slides. This is how the RJ45 looks like. I've just talked about it. Inside it, this is how the numbering is. And this is how the wall mounts also looks like. The wall jack, this is how it looks like. And this is the front view of it. And I spoke about the T568A and T56B. So these are explanations for that. Now, for the color codes, I said we are using T56B, which is this one. And it starts with the first one is the orange, white. We go orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. Now for data transmission, the colors orange and green are what is used for the network data transmission. So in a quiz or exam or whichever it is, if you are asked of the colors that is used for data transmission in networking, is the orange and its strip and the green and its strip. So that is it. So the cabling instruction, I just spoke about it. Now, we have what we call the straight cable and also the cross cable. What we did now, the color combination here, and that's of the one, if I had done it for this one, still using the T586A. If it's the same color combination, we call it a straight cable. We call it a straight cable. So straight cables, each of the ends of the terminated cables are of the same color. And we use, if you are using T568A, here should also be T56A. But I'm saying let's use the B. It's the B that is virtually run through wherever you go in any institution that has a network. So for that straight cable, for us to say it's a straight cable, the first termination and the second termination should be the same thing in terms of the color arrangement. Now, when we move down here, we have, so that's a straight cable. Usually, the straight through cables, they connect different layer devices, and that is it. So for different layer devices. So in that case, a switch can be connected to a router. It says connects different layer devices. So a switch can be connected to a router, a switch to a PC or a server, a hub to a PC or a server. So it's not the same devices that we use the straight cable for. The straight through cables like this one, if I've done terminating it, it has to get connected to different layer devices. So switch to router, I can use a straight cable. Switch to PC or computer or server, straight through cable. Hub to PC, straight through cable. So order of the colored wires are same at each end. So it's the same. This end is the same as this end. And I say, let's use the T568B color combination, which is orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. All right. Just to be on the safe side, let me find out if any of you remember. Yes, Albert, tell me the colors that I just talked about. If you're able to do that, it means you always would remember. Tell me how you remember the arrangement of the T568B color for the RJ45. Yes, Albert? James, get ready. Albert.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. I'm very sorry. I not heard that part well because I'm in a car going home. We
Okay,
just closed from class, so if you can go back.
that's okay. Emmanuel Bacha? Emmanuel, tell me. James, tell me the colors that you remember. I'm going to start again. The colors for the T568B arrangement is orange, white, orange, orange, white, orange, orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. I'm repeating again. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. So if you remember this, you wouldn't forget how to. And it's something that is supposed to be on your fingertips. You should always remember. So James, tell me the color for the B. Yes, James.
Orange, white, orange.
Yes.
Blue, white, blue.
No.
Green, white, green, and brown, white, brown.
Say it again. Let's start again.
Orange, white, orange.
Good.
Blue, white, blue.
No. So we start
Green,
with
white, green.
No, you have
And
missed it.
brown, white.
Okay, you have missed it. It's orange, white, orange,
Brown.
green, white, blue. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. You missed it. So, Abby, you are here. Abby, tell me if you remember this number, these colors for the B.
Okay, so
Yes.
orange, white, orange,
Great.
green, white, blue,
Great.
blue, white, green,
Yes.
and brown, white, brown. Say.
Perfect. You are right. In fact, that is the color. If you didn't write it down and it came off your mind, then you have done well. You always would
Thank you.
remember it. Annette, are you here? Are you now coming? Okay, so I'm repeating the color coding again for the B. Orange, white, orange. Green, white, blue. Blue, white, green. Brown, white, brown. So that is the color combination arrangement that we normally use for the straight through cable. And I'm saying that the straight through cables, we use it to connect different layer devices or devices of different types. So if you are connecting a switch to a switch, you don't use a straight through cable. So a switch, if you are connecting a switch to a router, this cable has to be a straight through cable. If you are connecting a switch to a PC or a server, you can use a straight through cable. If it's a hub and a PC, you can use straight through cables. So straight through cables are cables used to connect devices that are of different layer, that are different. Let me put it that way. And the color combination is what we talked about. So this is it, the straight through cable over here. Now, the color combination again, this is the straight through cable color combination. That's what we have here. So one end of this cable, I'm intentionally repeating this over and over again. So one end should have this color, and the same color combination should be the same for the other end, which is this one. So this end and this end should be the same. So you can see from here we have orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. And at the other ends too is the same thing. Now that is the straight through cable. We also have another one which we call the cross cable. Cross cable. So as the name says, it means the cable is crossed. So in such situations, we normally use cross cable to connect similar devices. So for instance, your computer. If you want to connect your computer to another computer, you have to use a cross cable. So the way you use pen drive to copy from one computer to the other, you can connect a cross through or crossover cable from your computer to another person's computer so that you can transfer data from that one computer to the other. So this one, the devices would have to be of the same kind. So for the crossover cables, we have switches connected to switches, and we have switches connected to hubs. You know, switches and hubs are just about the same. Hub connected to hub, router to router, PC to PC, that's computer to computer, and router to PC. So you can see, I told you that routers usually have two ends. So we can use that approach. But most times for crossover cables, they connect similar devices. So if you want to transfer data, maybe your computer A has about 10 gig of data. You don't have a pen drive around, but you have a crossover cable and you want to copy it onto another computer. You can connect this end to computer A, this end to computer B. Then if it is a cross cable, then it means you can now transfer, copy, and paste it to to the other side of the computers. So for the cross cable, what changes in the color combination is the orange wire pairs and the green wire pairs. Those are the ones that changes. So the first one, which is the A, the T568B, there's the combination that we know. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. So this end will be the same arrangement as the T568B. But the second arrangement, I'm saying that the orange wire pair and the green wire pair are the ones that we switch places. So from here, you can see we have the green, it will start the other side for the crossover cable. It will rather be green, white, green. The first one said orange, white, orange. But this time around, we are starting with green, white, green, then orange, white, brown. So wherever you see orange, white, you put in green, white. So orange, white is here for the first one. Here, we'll swap them. We'll swap those two. So the orange wire pairs and the green wire pairs are the ones that are swapped for the second option or for the second network cable termination for the side. So that is a cross-through cable. So this is a color combination too. If you want to get the understanding properly. So basically, This is the entire termination of cables, and this is very key. You need to know how to do that. All right, so I think this is all I want to show you today. If there are questions, you can ask me. If there are none, we can call it an evening. And I would want you guys to make sure you get your own cable terminated. Try and do it yourself. You never know. Maybe in the exams, I will tell you to do something. So please try and do it yourself. Then on the platform, there is this, apart from the practical side, the practical gets yourself into 2 groups and set up the same thing on your computer. In 2 weeks' time, you will display it for me to see. And the same 2 weeks, you are also going to give me your terminator cables, 2 of such, to get it ready. Then I have 2 other videos on the platform. It shows how to how IP addresses are given out in terms of the subnet. There is a calculation for that particular, there are some calculations in there. I would want you to read them, get to know how the calculations are done. I will tell you that those calculations will come in the exam. In 2 weeks' time again. Emmanuel, when exactly is the exam? When do we start the exam?
I think from 21st July to 10th August.
Okay. All right, 21st July to 10th August. So have we taken any quiz? Yes, we've done 1 quiz. We need to do a midterm. So after today, virtually, we are done with the course. So God willing, next week, if you guys have a question or questions, let me know. We can meet, then I'll address those ones. If not, then next 2 weeks, we'll meet. Is that okay with us? But please, watch that video where the calculations of the IP addresses are done. You should know how, when we say this is a network, there's a network IP, you should know what it is. There's a broadcast IP, you should know what it is. How are those things done? It is there. There's a networking class, so you should know how those things are done. Although those were the introductory lessons I taught to the master students in advanced computer networks. But it's one key thing that you have to know. So I'll advise you watch those videos and know how to do the calculations. And so let me know if next week you guys want me to explain something or you want to clarify things, I'll do that. If not, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Do we have any question, any concerns? So get ready. We are not meeting next week, but you are going to have your midterm next week. So get ready for that. All right. Let's call it an evening. Thank you for having me. It's unfortunate I've not seen you guys before. Maybe when I meet you in person, I'll get to know all of you. All right, then.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.